Hi. Heather Ann Tucci Jarraf is one of Lucifer's agents on Earth to help him and the banksters enslave humanity. That's what she's doing. You have to understand that Heather is or was a lawyer / attorney. And when you understand that simple fact, then you go and you do a little bit of research and you find out where lawyers come from. So to do that, you go to the Bankster's Manual to Enslave Humanity. And this is what it tells you about lawyers on page 1. It says, "What has restrained the beasts of prey who are called men? What has served for their guidance hitherto? In the beginnings of the structure of society, they were subjected to brutal and blind force. After words or language was developed, they were subjected to law, which is the same force, only disguised." So what does this tell us? It tells us that lawyers who administer the law against humans for Lucifer are restraining we beasts of prey by that law to inflict that brutal and blind force upon us. What else do these words say from the Bankster's Manual to Enslave Humanity? It refers to humans as beasts of prey. So who do you think wrote this? Would it have been someone who was not a human? Perhaps Lucifer or his son Marduk, who probably dictated these words to the Rothschild family back in 1773 when they wrote the Banker's Manual, which is also known as the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. Now, if you read those protocols, you'll see that they're a work of genius. They weren't written by any Jews. They were written to make Jews the scapegoats for the evil that Lucifer, his bankers, and his lawyers were going to inflict upon humanity. They wrote them so that you wouldn't blame the banksters, even though some Jewish people might work in banks and some people who are actually Jewish and not fake Jews might work as lawyers. They're all being tricked by their profession and the dollars that it produces for them. A lot of lawyers are tricked into joining the Bar Association and don't understand that they're administering a brutal and blind force against humanity. Nevertheless, that's what Heather's doing, and she has to be doing it intentionally. When she gives you all this nonsense about being able to get $1 million or $2 million, like this guy Bean got by accessing his Federal Reserve secret account, what if all 300 million of us did that? Then the Federal Reserve would be paying out $600 trillion and making everyone in the country multi-millionaires. So then who would work? Would anyone work if you all of a sudden went to the Federal Reserve and said, "Hey, I'd like $2 million. They give it to you, you say, "Oh, well, I'm going to quit my job at McDonald's now. Or I'm going to quit my job working in a nursing home or as a construction worker, whatever you do. You're not going to keep it up if it's some crummy job that you don't really want to do. You're going to take your $2 million and you're going to go spend it. You'll enjoy it. And with everyone's having all that money to spend, then the controllers will pretty soon be charging about $10 billion for a loaf of bread. And you might pay it if you can collect, you can keep collecting from the Fed because your account is limitless. They have infinite money because it's all it's all phony debt money. It's not real. So theoretically, you could just keep going back to the Fed and getting billions or trillions anytime you want. This is just plain stupid to believe in this stuff. So what is Heather not telling you? Well, she tells you to go play games with the Federal Reserve, risk getting thrown in jail, and be stupid enough to believe that the Federal Reserve is going to hand out $600 trillion to everyone in America. What Heather's not telling you is this. This is the solution to our problems. If you want to be wealthy, have everything you want, have no debt, have free houses, free educations, all the food you need, this is what you have to do. You have to remove the lawyers from Congress. There's about 200 of them. That's what the Declaration of Independence tells us to do after a long train of abuses and usurpations. That's why Heather's out there telling you to do this stupid nonsense instead of telling you to hang Congress for treason. That's the right that you have. You have the right to hang Congress for treason. Heather won't tell you this. If you hang Congress for treason, all the lawyers will be removed from our government. There won't be any more lawyers working as judges. There won't be any more IRS. There won't be any more Federal Reserve. In the process of abolishing the Federal Reserve, we could take back everything that Rothschild stole from us. That means all of that phony money that he loaned us to buy houses and to pay for educations, we get back. All those payments you made go back to you. That's what happens when intelligent and honest people control our country instead of lying lawyers like Heather. Can you think about things like that instead of just listening to your greed and listening to this lying lawyer feeding your greed and telling you she's going to make you rich by listening to her nonsense? It's a lot easier to actually solve the problem without playing these ridiculous games that you're taught by lawyers. All you have to do is put these bumper stickers on your cars and sway public opinion. Public opinion is the most potent weapon that exists. When enough people are talking about hanging our government because it's 100% corrupt, then it will happen. But you have to talk about solving the problem instead of chasing rainbows by listening to Heather. It's just the stupidest thing you can do in your life.